Hi, Stephen Sidney here. You know, at Carl's Jr., your safety is extremely important. Hey, you never know when an accident could happen.
But by following some basic safety rules, along with your own common sense, most accidents can be easily prevented. And if you don't believe that accidents can happen easily, here's a look at our last take. Yo, Burger Boy, roll it!
Okay, everybody, here we go. Stand by. Action.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? Hi, Stephen Sidney here. You know, safety is extremely important. You never know when an accident could happen.
But by following some basic safety rules, along with your own common sense, most accidents can be easily prevented.
Cut.
What? Something in my teeth?
So, as that just showed you, there are 5 common injuries we want you to avoid. The best way to avoid slips and falls is to not run, but walk.
Hey, there's no reason to hurt yourself while you're on the job. So do your job quickly, but always take the time to be safe. Be careful around places where there might be water on the floor, like the back sink, ice machine, or mop stall areas, and places that might have shortening or grease on the floors, like fryers and the grill. If you see a spill, don't wait for an accident to happen. Either clean it up yourself immediately or tell the person in charge so they can get it taken care of.
It doesn't take a genius to know that wet floors can be slippery, so be extra careful when you're cleaning and mopping them. Use hot water because it cleans better and dries faster than cold water. Use a wet floor sign to alert everyone. Wring out the mop often so the floor doesn't get too wet. Mop the floor a section at a time so there's always a dry area for people to walk on, but don't mop during the busy rush periods. Most important, tell your fellow crew members that you're mopping and the floor is wet so that everyone can be extra careful.
Hey, don't stand on boxes or climb on shelves to reach something. That's just not safe. Get a leg up. Always use a ladder to reach things on a high rack or shelf. And when you use a ladder, make sure it's close to the item you want so you don't overextend your reach. If it's not, move it closer. Also make certain the ladder is in good condition. It's completely open and the safety catches are locked.
Oh, no, you don't. One thing we don't need when talking about slips and falls is any bad luck. So follow these simple rules, and you'll create your own good luck.
Hi, and welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about what to do when you're around, knives, tomato slicers, can openers, box cutters, that sort of thing. Anything that's sharp, like you. Stop, you're driving me crazy! First, always pay close attention to what you're doing. Don't be in a hurry or zippity-doo-dah. Just kidding! So always wear those safety gloves to protect your precious hands. Fashion statement. Now, grab the right knife by the handle. Can you handle that? Knock it off, you two in the back. Your trainer will show you the correct one to use for each task. Hold the knife firmly and keep your fingers away from the blade, and when you set it down, point the blade away from you. Remember, I'm the only cut-up around here. You're too much! Oops. If you drop the knife, just let it fall. Don't try to catch it. Duh. Move away quickly and warn anyone close by. Hey, there's a knife on the loose. Watch out! When the through with the knife or any sharp item, put them back on the magnetic bar or knife holder. Your trainer will show you where they belong. Well, that's it for this segment of Sharp Cooking Tips. Your trainer will show you how to clean knives and other sharp items properly. Remember, always be careful around anything sharp. Get the point? Hope not. See you next time. Good night.
Here's proof that riding the range can cause you pain. Here's Bernie, Cowboy Bernie.
That smart's worse than sticking your tongue in a Waco wasp's nest. Woo-wee. Howdy, partners. I'm Cowboy Bernie, and I'm here to tell you a little tale about being careful when you're moseying around the old Star Ranch there. Hey, if you can't stand the heat, don't get out of the kitchen. Just be downright cautious. Take a look at this here char broiler. Why, the whole thing, including the belts and pans for the cooked meat, is hotter than a Fort Worth furnace. When you put those frozen meat patties or chicken breasts on the char broiler, don't touch that belt. And when you take them critters off, always use a spatula. Watch what you're doing. If you touch this here char broiler, I guarantee you'll be doing the old Texas two-step double time. Hey, it's great to be the fastest cook in the West, but y'all got to do a safe job, too. Be careful now around them fryers. They'll scorch you faster than an El Paso pistol. Don't let shortening splatter on you or touch shortening with your bare hands. When cooking up them French fries, lower that basket real gentle-like into the fry vat so you and your compadres don't get splattered. You know what I mean? Your trainer will be kind enough to show you some special protective gear to wear when you're filtering or cleaning those fryers. Always remember, the shortening is as hot as a 4th of July firecracker. This grill is as fiery as a Houston jalapeno. Even the edges and the ledge in front are hot, so don't touch them. The utensils, like the egg ring and meat press, are also very hot, so be sure to grab a hold of the wooden handles only. Be downright careful when you're working around the oven. Always wear and use heat-resistant gloves, not a towel, when grabbing oven pans or baked spuds. The toaster is as scorching as an Amarillo August, so be careful when feeding and removing English muffins. Watch out for the belt and the surrounding surfaces. They are hot. When you open the lid to the steamer, that heat'll come at you like a red rock rattler. So open it real careful like. There are so many blasted ways you can brand yourself in the kitchen. Do what any good cook on the range does. Be very careful and always wear an apron. The final word is always be extra careful when carrying hot foods, liquids, or pans. Oh, and don't forget to warn your fellow ranchers when you come round in one of them corners. You know, all this talking has made me mighty hungry. Hey, Cookie, how about rusting up one of them Western bacon cheeseburgers and some Frenchy fries?
That sounds great to me, Cowboy Bernie.
Now riding the range don't have to be a pain. Ask Bernie, Cowboy Bernie.
Yeah, I got that call back for that coffee commercial. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get it.
Okay, everybody, here we go. Stand by. Ready and action.
Tense muscles, aching back. You don't need any medication. No, what you need is to lift your spirits by lifting the right way. Now, the first muscle you need to use in lifting an object is your brain. If you think an object is too heavy to lift, don't try it alone, get some help. But if you think you can handle it, just follow these simple rules. First, place one foot next to the box, the other one 8 to 12 inches behind. Bend your knees ever so slightly and comfortably next to the object and getting a firm, tight hold. Don't lift with your back muscles. That can put too much pressure on your back muscles. Instead, lift with your knees, your legs, and your back muscles together, smoothly and evenly in an upright position, pushing with your legs, like this. As you lift the box higher, keep your legs apart so as it doesn't fall to one side or the other and you lose your balance. And if you need to pick it up over your head, which I'm not gonna do right now, just do it really carefully, okay? Oh. And like I said in the beginning, if you think the object's too heavy to lift, get some help.
Cut. Great. Okay, let's set up for the next shot, please.
Where is that prop guy? That thing was so heavy.
There are a lot of different types of cleaners and cleaning products used in the restaurant. Oh, excuse me. As I was saying, there are numerous cleaners which contain a lot of interesting chemicals. Interesting, yeah, but potentially dangerous. So, here are some important things to remember. First, always use the right cleaner. Now, there are cleaning cards in the restaurant to help you. They list the right cleaner to use. Never substitute. Each cleaner is specifically formulated for a specific cleaning task. A cleaner that is good for one job may be wrong, even dangerous for another. Now, you can identify a cleaner by looking at its label. Each label has directions for using the cleaner properly, as well as safety precautions and first aid information. There are also materials safety data sheets called MSDSs in your restaurants. These sheets will give you more detailed info on each cleaning product. Now, your manager will know where these sheets are kept. Now, where is that? Here it is. Now, let us go to my favorite Carl's Jr. restaurant, yeah? Just put this button here, and this beacon here, put this down there. We are at my favorite Carl's Jr. restaurant. Look here. Egbert is looking at a cleaning card to see how to prepare and use a certain cleaner. He wants to know how a product is used, not abused. Oh, and here we have Penelope putting a cleaning product into its properly marked spray bottle. She's putting the other products away. She knows that by mixing chemicals, you could possibly cause serious side effects, dangerous fumes, or even bodily harm. Notice Clarence is working with strong chemicals, so he's wearing safety gear. The cleaning cards will tell you what to wear. And note also how serious he is. You don't want to play around with cleaners. It can't be dangerous. Now, here is Letitia. She has finished cleaning, so she is now securely closing and storing the product. You want to keep all cleaning materials away from food and paper products because they could cause contamination. Now, should you ever accidentally... Oh, sorry. Hello. That's better, yeah? Now, should you ever accidentally swallow a cleaning product or get some on your skins or in your eyes, well, you must refer to the first aid information on the label and notify the person in charge immediately. Most of all, if you don't know how to use a cleaning product, ask your manager or the person in charge before you use it, yeah? We want you to be safe and to know what you are doing with every product that... Thank you.
You now know what it takes to prevent slips and falls, cuts, burns, back injuries, and chemical injuries.
And to stop these, you need to think. Think safety. Be aware of all the potential safety hazards in your restaurant. Follow all the safety guidelines. Work hard at making your work accident-free. But hey, if you happen to have an accident or hurt yourself in any way, notify the person in charge pronto. You may think it's minor or no big deal, but this is no time to be macho.
Your safety is very important. Your trainer is now going to take you on a safety tour of the restaurant and show you the exact locations of the safety equipment and the special safety features of your restaurant, so pay close attention.
Bottom line, safety is no accident. Safety starts with you, so always remember, think safety.
Welcome to Hardee's Food Service Sanitation Training. This video will introduce you to the safe food handling procedures at Hardee's. We will take you on a short trip through Micro World. This video adventure will cover the reasons for managing a sanitary food service operation, understanding the types of microorganisms of concern to food service workers, the connection between microorganisms and foodborne illness, the basic conditions that bacteria need to grow, how bacteria is transmitted to food and how transmission can be controlled, the difference between biological, chemical, and physical hazards, the rules for good personal hygiene, a program of good personal hygiene and safe food handling practices. We have an expert on food sanitation with us today.
Let me introduce myself. Food poisoning. That's right. Who would know more about food safety than its worst enemy? And that's Mr. Food Poisoning to you. Through this video, you will meet my Microworld gang members. These elite members are E. coli, Salmonella, Shigellosis, Staphylococcus, Trichinosis, and Hepatitis. You're gonna find out none of these characters give up easy, and there's always more where they came from.
Well, thanks, Mr. Food Poisoning. We call him FP for short. Well, folks, people eat out for lots of reasons. Families, senior citizens, and friends go out for lunch or dinner. Business executives to have a meeting, or just because they're hungry. Hardee's guests expect good, safe food, clean surroundings, and pleasant service. Everyone is becoming more aware of the connection between food and illness. Serving safe food is your responsibility. Foodborne illness, most commonly called food poisoning, is a disease carried or transmitted to human beings by food. Food poisoning costs restaurants, grocery stores, and even hospitals millions of dollars each year in lawsuits. It can happen anywhere food is served, even at home. The media and news agencies daily report on these incidents.
Some of my best work. Your job is to eliminate me.
By the time this video is over, we will be able to eliminate you. Let's get started looking at this kitchen. There's no place for food poisoning to hide, or is there? Keep your eye out for visible soil. A clean area is not always a sanitary area. A sanitary work area is free of harmful levels of microorganisms and chemicals. Remember, creation and maintenance of healthful and hygienic conditions is your responsibility. Hardee's involves you and management by providing awareness of the high priority of sanitation. Hardee's employees' actions and appearance, as well as posted certification, provide public proof of the company's high priority on sanitation. There are 3 food safety categories: food, facilities, and people. The most dangerous of these is people. Food poisoning depends on them to help carry out its work. The most dangerous part of people? Their hands. That's where most food contamination comes from. Just remember, you and your hands do most of the dirty work. The greatest concern to restaurants and food poisoning's very dear friends are bacteria. Restaurants can provide the perfect environment for bacterial growth. Food left out at room temperatures between 40 degrees and 140 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal for the growth of bacteria. And remember, if you have just one bacteria, it will divide to become 2, and 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and so on and so on. Proper procedures can keep food out of the danger zone for any length of time. Employees have direct control of time and temperature. You should keep hot foods hot and cold foods cold. Remember, room temperature equals danger. The temperature danger zone, one of FP's gang's favorite places.
Hey, since the gang's all here, let me introduce you to some of them. Sugarlosis, come on over here and talk to the people.
Sure, boss. No problem. Hey, is this on? People don't like to think about me. I'm usually found in human feces. I get around most often with a free ride on unwashed human hands. I'm also known as a frequent flyer since flies will carry me to where the food is. I really make some people sick, giving them diarrhea, cramps, chills, and fever.
That's right, Shig. But careful control measures properly used, such as washing hands after using the toilet and fly control, can wipe you out. Sorry, that's the facts. Okay, gang, who's next? Is that you, Sal? Step right up here.
Hey, got you covered. Sal's my name, and chicken is my game. My whole family is found in chicken, eggs, and dairy products, naturally. We can cause people to have diarrhea, fever, chills, abdominal pain, headaches, and vomiting.
But people can kill you, Sal. Cooking chicken to 165 degrees Fahrenheit, it'll happen every time. Salmonella is spread through a technique called cross-contamination. Notice the setting. The person drops the leaky bag of chicken on the coring tool. Without knowing, the other employee picks up the coring tool and uses it. Voila! Salmonella has just been passed on. People can stop this health threat. All they have to do is guard against cross-contamination and practice good personal hygiene. Our next disease is food poisoning's dear old friend, a gal who comes to us straight from human beings, Staphylococcal. Talk to us.
Well, hello there. It's true. I've been around for a long time. I'm always at home in people's nasal passages and throats. I'm at my best filling up infected cuts and burns, abrasion, boils, and pimples. With very little effort, I can get all over human hands and onto my next victim. What's a little nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, dehydration, prostration, and cramps between friends?
Well, that's right, Staphyla. In fact, we have a clip here showing how you do get around. Roll it, Johnny. Now, as you will see, folks, Staphyla uses human beings as the reservoir to transmit. You see, as the person sneezes into their own hands, Staphylococcal is passed into the hands. When food is picked up, the bacteria has passed on. Staphyla does have her weak spot. If employees will simply tell their managers they're sick, they will be excluded from food handling. Now, if you are dressing sandwiches and have to use your bare hands, making sure you clean your hands is critical. Washing and cleaning your hands, sanitizing all equipment, utensils, and food contact surfaces keeps Staphyla out of circulation. Our next disease is food poisoning's big buddy. Let's hear about it from E. coli.
Thank you, and thank you. Ladies and gents, I deserve some respect. E. coli here. I play it cool. I stay alive in raw hamburger. I can cause people fever, nausea, abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, cramps, and colitis. And if you really mess with me, I can kill you.
Whoa, take it easy, big guy. Anybody can see you're nothing to fool around with. But they will probably never have to do that after I show them this clip. See, there you are, E, in that hamburger patty. But they're cooking the meat to 160 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, and when you see the juices turn from red to clear, my friend, you're dead.
Who's this? Well, I should have known. Trichinosis.
Gotcha.
Well, you got me like you get a lot of people. Tell us about it.
Well, thanks, FP. I'll just do that. Well, folks, I'm not your average parasite. As a group, we spend most of our time hanging out in undercooked pork. When I show up in people, all kinds of things happen. They start to vomit, have nausea, and abdominal pain, and their eye tissues swell. They get a fever, and if everything goes just right, they get a muscle stiffness.
Yeah, Tricky, you can do all that as long as things don't get too hot. Cooking sausage thoroughly to 160 degrees or better and cooking and holding sausage gravy to 170 to 180 degrees will just destroy you. Is that everybody? Who am I forgetting? Heppy, I know we haven't heard from you. Come on and tell everybody who you are.
Yeah, so what do you want to know? I come from infected people, okay? I wait for my chances in raw and uncooked foods like fresh produce, okay? I can cause people to have fever, nausea, abdominal pain, fatigue, and jaundice, okay?
If people use disposable plastic gloves when preparing raw and uncooked food, you can be eliminated, okay? Foods can also be contaminated by chemical substances used to control bugs while growing crops. Cleaning chemicals used during food service preparation can also cause contamination. You must watch out for particles or items that can fall into foods. Metal fragments, hair, and false fingernails are in the physical hazard list. By now, it shouldn't come as any surprise to find out that proper hand washing is the most critical part of personal cleanliness. You should wash your hands before starting your shift and often during your workday. After using the restroom, after handling raw food product, after using cleaning chemicals, after smoking or eating, after handling trash, after touching contaminated surfaces, after touching your face or hair, after sneezing or coughing, after touching money. Food service employees who follow the hand-washing techniques demonstrated here are the first line of defense against food contamination and food poisoning. Use warm water. Wet hands first. Apply soap. Rub your hands together for 20 seconds. Thoroughly rinse your hands. Finish by drying your hands with paper towels or a dryer. Never dry your hands on your clothes. You also have to remember this. After you're done washing your hands, you might not go directly to food handling. You may perform some other function such as handling raw food, or maybe you just opened the restroom door. You just picked up bacteria, and you must clean your hands again before you handle any food. Keeping your clothes clean will help you to maintain healthful working conditions as well as presenting a polished and professional appearance on the job.
Breaks should be taken only in break areas when you use tobacco products, eat food, or chew gum. Always remember when returning to work after a break that you must wash your hands.
Thanks for the information, FP. Now let's move on to some of the biggest whistleblowers to food poisoning and his micro-world gang. I'm talking about thermometers. The two types that you will be using are digital and pocket thermometers. First, wash, rinse, and sanitize thermometers before each use. Next, take the temperature in the thermal center. That's usually the thickest part of the food you're cooking. You allow 15 seconds after the indicator stops moving. You then record the thermometer reading. Now, all these careful temperature measurements will be time wasted if the thermometer is not working properly. You must calibrate your thermometer daily. Ask your manager for help in how to calibrate. Remember when you're done to clean and sanitize your thermometers after every use. You may even be required to keep your thermometers in a sanitized solution. Again, check with your manager to be certain. The basic rules for safe food storage ensure that food is protected until used. First in, first out. FIFO means just what it says. You must keep frozen and refrigerated foods out of the 40 to 140 degree Fahrenheit danger zone. Food should only be stored in approved areas. Store food in clean wrappers or containers. Storage areas must be kept clean and dry. Food transport vehicles inside the store should be kept clean at all times. One of the last chances for a food handler to contaminate food is when he or she is serving the food. That's why there is a right way and a wrong way to do everything. Using tongs for handling biscuits keeps your fingers off them. Use a scoop for putting ice in cups to keep the ice free of contamination.
The real heavy hitters in the battle to control food contamination are the sanitizers. Used correctly, after cleaning and rinsing all surfaces, these agents take care of business. They are used in 3 strengths. Your manager will give you the mixing instructions. Notice you won't see me anywhere around these guys.
We've talked about everything but the kitchen sink, so here we are. Everything used in food preparation ends up
Hi, may I help you?
Yeah, these fries are terrible.
Oh, what's wrong with them?
Well, I just sat down to eat and the fries are cold.
I'm sorry. Let me get you a fresh order. If you'll just have a seat, I'll be glad to bring them to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Regular fry, please. Here you go, sir. Here's some hot fries. Sorry that the other ones were cold, but I appreciate you letting us know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Help you, ma'am? Yes, when I placed my order, I asked for a medium Coke. This tastes like a diet drink.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'll get you another one. There you go, ma'am. Sorry about the mix-up. Enjoy your meal. Yes, sir. May I help you?
Yes, I want another sandwich. This quarter-pound cheeseburger is cold, and I want a hot one.
Okay, so just a moment. I'll get the manager.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I understand something's wrong with your sandwich.
Yes, this is cold.
Okay, let me get you another sandwich, okay?
Thank you. I don't want another cold one now.
No, sir. I have some fresh ones right here.
Thank you.
Here you go, sir. A nice, fresh quarter-pound cheeseburger. I'm sorry that you were inconvenienced, but I appreciate you letting me know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. May I help you?
Are you the manager?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
This is the second time I've been in your restaurant. Each time I've ordered a cheeseburger without mustard because my son Tommy doesn't like mustard. In fact, he won't eat anything with mustard on it. Both times I have gotten cheeseburgers with mustard. In fact, this time the hamburger came with everything left off except the mustard. Now, I don't understand. Every time I come into Hardee's, the same problem happens. You can't get your orders straight. Now, I want my money back, and I want to go.
Yes, ma'am, I can understand how you feel, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I'd like to do anything I can to resolve the situation.
Fine. I want my money back.
I'll be glad to give you your money back. I'd also like to treat you to your order if you don't mind waiting.
Fine. How long will that take? I'm in a hurry.
Well, that special cheeseburger will take about 3 minutes, ma'am.
I don't have time to wait. Why don't you just give me my money back?
Okay, I can understand that. I'll be glad to give you your money back. I'd also like to give you a free coupon to treat you to a meal next time you come in.
Fine.
Okay. Let me get your money. Let's see, that's $39. 1, 2, I believe that was the total of your order. Let me also get you a coupon. There you go.
Thank you.
I'm sorry again for the inconvenience we caused you, ma'am. I hope you'll come back and see us real soon.
Hi, Liz.
Hi.
How you doing?
Fine.
That was a busy lunch rush we had, wasn't it?
Sure was.
Liz, there's one thing I want to talk to you about. I noticed on 2 occasions when I came over and pointed out to you that you were overweighing the roast beef. The first time it was a ½ an ounce over, and the second time it was a ¼ of an ounce over.
Yes, sir.
I know you're not doing it intentionally, but are there any reasons why it was happening?
Well, You know, like you mentioned, it was awful busy, and I was trying to make sure that I had at least one roast beef sandwich available to the customers at all times.
I really appreciate that customer concern. What type of ideas do you have to solve the problem?
Well, the only idea I can really think of is for me just to slow down some and just make sure that I take the right amount of roast beef and place it on the scales each time.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's really the key, is just being more careful. One other thing I noticed is if you get too much roast on the scale, it's all right to go ahead and take a slice or two off to make sure that you got the proper amount of roast on the sandwich.
Okay.
Okay? So why don't we go ahead and agree on those two things, that you're just going to take your time, be a little more careful, and then if you do get some extra roast on the slicer, that you can take a slice or two off.
Okay.
Okay? Why don't we go ahead and work with that for a couple days. We'll get back together on Friday about 2 o'clock, and that's when you get off, and we'll go ahead and discuss how it went.
Okay.
We're good. I think you got a good handle on it, Liz, and I feel confident you can get it taken care of. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
There you are. Thank you very much. Come back and see us.
Thanks. Have a nice day. Can I help you?
Okay, you too.
Small cherry coke. Okay.
Gene, is everything okay today?
Yeah, no problem. Why?
Well, I thought you could use a little more courtesy with that customer.
Why? What did I do wrong?
We'll talk about it when things slow down, okay?
Okay.
Boy, this is really turning into a problem. I've talked with Jean twice about her not being courteous to customers. Let's see. Yeah, it was just Monday I talked to her for the second time. Jean, do you remember the conversation we had on Wednesday about being more courteous to customers? We agreed the solution would be to pay more attention to customers and be more courteous by using more eye contact, taking more time, being patient. Thursday and Friday, I noticed you did a real good job. You were using lots of eye contact. You weren't rushing your conversations with the customers. But today at lunch, I noticed several times you were losing the eye contact with the customers, and you seemed to be rushing the conversations. Something wrong?
Well, I've been trying. How about if I get Lori to help me? She could let me know when I'm rushing my conversations with the customers and let me know if I'm not giving them my full attention. I feel certain that that'll work because I usually don't realize I'm rushing my customers.
You know, I think that's a great idea, but I want you to realize getting Lori to help you doesn't relieve you of the responsibility. Now, this is a problem that you're going to have to solve.
Right, I understand.
Good, Jean. It's very important to me that you understand this, because if we can't solve this problem, it's going to warrant a written warning.
A written warning?
Yes.
Gosh, just for this? That seems pretty rough. I'm doing everything else okay, aren't I?
Oh, yes, Jean. You're a good worker. You're a hard worker. You're always there to pitch in. And, you know, I appreciate that. But, Jean, you need to be more courteous to our customers. I mean, if we're not courteous to our customers, they're not going to come back, and I can't allow that. Can you understand?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, why don't we agree that we'll continue to work on being more courteous by being more attentive to customers, giving them your full attention, using eye contact when you talk to customers, and not rushing them in conversation.
Okay.
Okay. Also, I think it's a good idea that you and I will talk to Laurie and have her keep an eye on you to point out some things you're doing wrong and right. I think that's an excellent idea.
Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay. Also.
Well, I'll be in touch with Laurie. She'll be in this afternoon, so I'll talk to her about it. Well, it's obvious that discussion didn't work either. I know Jean can do it. If I could just get her to be courteous all the time. I need to give her a written warning to show her how important this is to me. If we could just get this problem straightened out, she could be one of my best employees. Now, let's see now. I'll start the discussion by...
Did you want to talk to me?
Yeah, Gene, come on in, have a seat. Gene, do you remember about an hour ago a customer wearing a blue blazer? You waiting on him?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I noticed you dropped the fries in the tray, then you pushed the tray toward him, and then you turned without looking at him and said, "Thanks, have a nice day." Now, it was very obvious to that customer that you were showing lack of courtesy. And when he raised his eyebrows and said, "Okay, you too." Now, we talked about this last Monday, and you agreed that you would try to show more courtesy to our customers. You also said you would try to use more eye contact with the customers. We even had Laurie come in, and she showed you some pointers in talking with the customers and showing courtesy. Gee, this doesn't seem to be working out. What's the problem?
Well, it was just really hectic today.
Yeah.
We were short-handed, and I was just trying to get the order out as quickly as possible. But the back line was really screwed up. It seemed like I had to wait on them for every order. But then the customer takes it all out on me.
Well, Gene, I can understand how you feel when the back line backs up. I also appreciate your concern for the fast service, and our customers expect that. But, Gene, you need to be more courteous.
Yeah, but when you're busy and you're rushing around like that, you just kind of forget everything else. I'm just trying to get the order out as fast as I can.
Yeah, Gene, I can understand that. Let's look at it a little differently. You know, service is like a meal. Let's say you buy a sandwich, French fries, and a drink. You expect them all three to be good, right?
Right.
Well, let's say the sandwich and drink are excellent, but the fries are not so good. Now, you might be willing to overlook the fries if the sandwich and drink were extra good, but you would not overlook the fries if the sandwich and drink were bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, service works the same way, Gene. Think of speed as being the sandwich, courtesy as the French fries, and accuracy as the drink. Now, our goal is for all three to be good, but if there's an occasion when our speed is just okay, then we need to be sure that our courtesy and accuracy are extra good. Gene, does that help you understand it a little bit better?
Yeah, I guess it does. I just never thought of it that way before.
Well, good, Gene. I'm glad that helps. I need to impress upon you how important this is. I can't allow this to continue. I'm going to have to give you a written warning.
A written warning?
Well, Gene, we've already had 2 discussions about this. You need to realize how important this is, and we need to solve this matter. Okay. Here, let me show you what I have here. Now, here's the date of our last discussion, and here's what we talked about on this day, and here's a description of what I saw today.
Does this mean I could get fired for this?
Unfortunately, yes, unless you can solve the problem.
Well, I'm certain I can work at being more courteous. I just didn't realize how important it was.
Well, Gene, I hope so, and I hope this is the last time we'll have a discussion about it.
It will be.
Okay, now do you have any ideas as to what we can do to eliminate this problem?
Gosh, I guess the only thing I can think of is just to pay more attention to what I do.
Okay, Gene, I would like to try something else. I'll plan on working with you during the rush at lunch tomorrow, and I'll point out some of the things you're doing right, and also show you how to be more courteous to our customers.
Okay, I'm sure that'll work.
Okay then. Now, do we agree that you'll continue on working to be more courteous to our customers?
Yeah.
Okay. That you'll be giving full attention to the customers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And of course that you'll be using more eye contact with our customers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And of course not rushing them.
Yeah.
Now, can we also agree that I'll keep an eye on you tomorrow during the lunch rush to let you know how you can be more courteous to our customers?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Okay then, Gene, why don't we get together on, let's see, let's make it Friday right before your shift is over. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
I'll really work at being more courteous.
Well, Gene, you know, I've got a lot of confidence in you, and I know you will. Now, I need you to sign this right here. Now, Gene, why don't you go out there and work on being more courteous, okay? Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. Oh, hi, Jeff. How you doing?
Hi, great. How's it going?
Oh, boy, we have been busy today. You know, you'll probably be busy tonight, too, if the weather holds up.
Good.
Say, Jeff, you got a few minutes? I'd like to talk to you about something.
Sure. What's it about?
Why don't you have a seat? I was talking to Jamie earlier today. You know, the new kid on the back line?
Yeah.
Well, he was telling me about what a good time he's having, and he's learning so much. Then he told me last night he worked the roast beef station. Is that true, Jeff?
Yeah, I showed him how to make some roast beef sandwiches.
How old is Jamie?
He's 17.
17?
Mm-hmm.
And he's working the roast beef station?
Yeah.
Jeff, the law and Hardy's policy both clearly state that an employee must be 18 or older to operate and clean the electric slicer. Can you help me understand why you had Jamie working the slicer last night?
Well, there's nobody 18 or older working after 9, and you know that I take the inventory counts at night. So I showed Jamie how to work the roast beef station. That way I could go ahead and take my inventory counts, and I wouldn't have to stop and wash my hands and operate the slicer. That would have really slowed things down. And, you know, I think he only made 1 or 2 sandwiches anyway.
I understand that it's hard when you don't have anybody old enough to work the station, and you have to prepare all the roast beef sandwiches and do all the paperwork. It's a pain in the neck. However, Jeff, I simply cannot allow you to have a minor operate the slicer ever. You just cannot do it. Now, it's extremely important that you understand this policy.
Well, all he's got to do is turn the switch on and off. How dangerous can that be? Then he uses the tongs to pick up the roast beef.
True, Jeff, but what would happen if he turns the switch on and the roast beef accidentally slides out from the push bar weight and he automatically reaches for it? Or what happens if he needs to change the roast beef and he figures he knows how to do it, but he really doesn't know how to change it at all?
Well, I don't know. I guess I never really thought of it like that.
Jeff, under no circumstances should anyone under 18 operate or clean the electric slicer. Now, Bob and I, we talked it over and we decided it's so important that, Jeff, we're going to have to give you a written warning.
A written warning? Just for this one time?
Yes, Jeff, once is too often. You know the law, yet you ignored it. I want to give you a second chance, but I just can't allow this to happen again, Jeff.
Well, what's this going to do to my record? What about my chances of being promoted?
Well, if it never happens again, it probably won't do anything to your record or chances of promotion. Jeff, you're a good assistant manager. You've got a lot good going for you. And I just can't allow this to happen again. The next time might be the time an employee gets hurt. We just can't have that.
Yeah, well, I guess you're right.
Can you think of any solutions to the problem?
Well, I guess that I could make sure that there's always somebody 18 or older working every shift.
Yeah. Well, that's good, Jeff, but what about the times you can't get an 18-year-old to work?
Well, I guess maybe I could wait till we close to count inventory. I get out a lot later, but at least, you know, you'd have it taken care of.
Can you think of anything else?
Well, maybe if I told the backline employees where I was, you know, and they could come and get me, and then when we had an order for a roast beef sandwich, I'd just take care of it.
You think that'll work?
Yeah, it'll work. It'll be a nuisance, but I think it'll work.
Okay, so we'll agree that we'll try to schedule an 18-year-old or older for all shifts. And that you'll keep your employees informed as to where you'll be in case a roast beef sandwich needs to be made. That you will make it.
Yeah, okay. No problem.
Okay, Jeff, you also need to inform Jamie that he no longer can work the roast beef slicer, ever. Now, that is policy, Jeff, and make him understand that.
Okay, he's working tonight. I'll tell him tonight. Do you want me to sign this form?
Jeff, as I said, I'm confident that this won't happen again. You're a good employee.
Well, it sure won't, and I'm really sorry. I didn't realize how dangerous it could be.
Good. What do you say we get together next Thursday, right before your shift?
That sounds good.
Well, Jeff, thanks for your time, and
Sure.
I know you got some work to do, so.
Yeah, I think I better check the schedule and see if we got an 18-year-old working.
That's a good idea.
See you
I'll
later.
talk to you later, Jeff.
Andy, do you have a few minutes? I need to talk to you about something.
Sure. What's on your mind?
Well, I need to talk to you about Paul. As you know, we've already given him 2 written warnings about his fooling around on the job.
Yeah?
Well, I had problems with him again last night.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Well, it was pretty late and I was finishing my inventory counts. When I came out of the freezer, I caught him squirting Roxanne with a spray bottle of window cleaner.
Yeah, so what did you do?
Well, I really got mad. I was tired of Paul's horseplaying. Anyway, I came into the office and looked in his files. He's already had 2 written warnings about horseplaying in the last 4 months. So I told him to clock out and go home. But I also told him to come in today about 4 o'clock so you and I could talk to him about it.
Good. What do you think we should do with him?
Well, I think we should fire him. We've already given him 2 written warnings. He's already had enough opportunities to correct this. He's very disruptive to the rest of the crew members, and I personally believe he's going to hurt somebody one of these days. Also, the customers see it, and it's just not very professional. I just think we should let him go.
Well, let's think this through a minute. You have his file there.
Yes.
What were the 2 written warnings for? Can you find that for me?
Both of them were for horseplay. The last one was for batting hash rounds while George threw them. The time before that was for snapping other employees with the towel. We also had 2 previous discussions with him, one for snapping towels and one for throwing pickles.
In the last discussion, what did you say would be the consequences if he was caught fooling around again, Dave?
We told him if his fooling around continued, we'd have to let him go.
Well, unfortunately, I think you're right. We need to let him go. Now, let's take a few minutes to plan how we're going to handle this discussion.
Okay.
First of all, I think it's very important that you're there since this happened on your shift. And it'll be a good idea for you to see how we handle a termination discussion. It's also a good idea to have someone else present in this type of discussion, just in case there are any questions about what was said.
Okay. Am I going to have to fire him?
No, what I thought we'd do is this. I'll start the discussion, then I'll let you describe exactly what happened last night, and I'll take it from there and handle the rest of the discussion.
Oh, okay, fine.
Now, when the discussion is over, I want you to handle all the administrative stuff, okay?
Yeah, that's okay with me.
Okay, let's fill out the disciplinary action form. Now, what was the date of that last discussion you had with him?
Andy? Paul's here.
Oh. All right, have a seat there, Paul. Paul, if you remember, we had a discussion back on the 4th of this month. At that time, we had to give you a second written warning about your horseplay. Now, you agreed you would stop horseplaying on the job. Then last night, Dave said you were horseplaying again. Dave, you want to describe what you saw last night?
Yeah, I was counting inventory in the freezer, and when I came out, I saw you squirting Roxanne with a spray bottle of window cleaner.
Do you have any reasons for this?
No, I was just having a little fun. I didn't mean anything by it. I was still doing my job.
I understand, but did you squirt Roxanne?
Yeah, but...
Well, Paul, if you remember, in our last discussion, you were warned that unless the horseplay stopped, that it would lead to termination.
Yeah.
Well, Dave and I discussed it, and we're going to have to let you go. Last night was your last night working for us.
What? Why? It's the first time I ever squirted anybody.
We talked to you on the 4th about horseplay. You received a warning 3 months prior to this for snapping towels. 2 weeks before that, we also discussed snapping towels at employees. And a week before that, we talked about throwing pickles on the back line. We've given you more than enough chances, Paul.
Damn, that's not fair. Can't I just have one more chance? I won't do it again, honest.
Sorry, Paul, I understand you don't agree, but this is the decision we made. We just can't tolerate this kind of behavior. Now, Paul, you've got some you've got some good things going for you. You're good on the grill. You're dependable. You're thorough, and I'm sure you can use these skills somewhere else. But we just can't tolerate the horseplay, Paul. Now, I'm going to give you some forms here. If you'll just look these over, you can write any comment you want, and then please sign them.
Why do I have to sign it?
Well, it just indicates, Paul, that we had this discussion today. It doesn't mean that you agree with what we talked about.
I'm still not going to sign it.
Well, that's okay. I'll just put here that you refuse to sign it. Okay?
Yeah.
There you go. Now, Paul, you'll get a paycheck this Tuesday, and you'll get one more the following Tuesday. I also need for you to return your uniform. You can bring it in this Tuesday when you pick up your paycheck. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now, I know this hasn't been easy for you. Are there any questions that you have right now, Paul?
No.
Well, Paul, thanks for coming in today, and thanks for taking this in a professional way. I wish you the best of luck in your future.
Wait a minute, Ron. Don't slice that tomato yet. I've stopped you because you need to wear the safety gloves when you're slicing tomatoes.
You know, I just had to cut just a few tomatoes, enough to get us through the rest of the night. The gloves are so awkward to wear.
Well, the gloves are here for your protection, and even though you're only slicing a few tomatoes, your hands could run across the blades at any time. The gloves may not fit exactly right, but they will protect your hands.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Okay, well, I need you to go get the gloves put on before you slice the rest of those tomatoes.
Okay.
Oh, I see you've got the gloves.
Yeah, I found them.
Ron, I appreciate you taking the time to understand this procedure. And remember, it is for your protection.
Okay.
Thanks, Ron.
So that you won't have any accidents in the future. That might have made Bill a little less angry and showed him that you were listening to his reasons.
Effective or ineffective?
What do you think we could do to keep this from happening? After all, you know, this is your problem. You might have wanted to say something like, what ideas do you have for solving this problem? You know, you're a little closer to the job than I am.
Effective or ineffective?
You know, I really didn't see any use of the key interaction skills. I would have added a lot more.
Effective or ineffective?
You know, in action step 4, you gave Bill some strong reasons why the situation had to change. I think this really helped him to understand why keeping his station clean was important and was necessary. When Bill got angry, you replied, what I meant is that you're closest to the problem and maybe you have some ideas to solve it. You've been working on this job about 2 months now, and you've done a pretty good job overall.
Effective or ineffective? By applying and using the feedback guidelines in your skill practices, you'll achieve a constructive and productive learning experience. This will assist in establishing a foundation to handle different people's situations that you'll encounter in the restaurant.
Yes, John, you wanted to see me?
Yeah, I think I've got a problem and I'm not really sure how it should be handled.
Come on in. Oh, what's the problem, John?
It's Joni. It takes her forever to clean the dining room.
Now, what do you mean by forever?
Oh, I don't know. A long time, that's for sure.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's get some specifics. Is this something that you observe?
Yes.
Well, then tell me about a specific observation.
Well, last night, we just finished with the dinner rush at about 6:15, and I asked Joni to go out and clean the dining room tables. The next thing I knew, it was 7 o'clock, and I had to call Joni back to the front line. She was still out there cleaning up.
Well, how many tables needed cleaning?
I'd say about 8, plus the trash had to be emptied.
Well, now we're getting some specifics, John. And how long would you say it should have taken Joni to do the necessary cleanup?
8 tables in the trash, 20 minutes should have been more than enough time. But Joni spent most of her time gabbing with a group of friends who were sitting in the dining room.
So the problem isn't that Joni's too slow.
No, she just spends too much time talking with her friends.
So what kind of a problem do we have?
I don't get it. What do you mean?
Well, you've recently completed a training session called Supervisory Skills, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I guess it would be a performance problem?
Well, is there a problem with the quality of her work?
No, she does a good job. She just takes too long because she always finds somebody out there to talk with.
Well, if she didn't spend time talking to her friends, would she do a good job?
Yeah, I'd say she could get the job done well in about 20 minutes if she didn't talk with her friends.
Well, then if she does a good job and can get the job completed in 20 minutes, if she didn't talk to her friends, we have a
behavior problem.
That's right. That's what I'd say. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do.
How about the behavior? What behavior do you want Joni to correct?
Well, I want her to spend more time cleaning and less time talking with her friends.
Can we call that your goal?
Sure.
So your goal is to get Joni to realize that cleaning the dining room table quickly and efficiently is important.
Yeah, that's even better.
How about a time frame, John? When do you want Joni to start to show improvement?
I think I can work with her to get it corrected by, let's say, next Tuesday.
Well, that sounds good if you think you can do it in that amount of time.
I think I can.
Well, great. Now that you have a specific goal, John, do you know how to handle the situation?
Well, I know there are some action steps that I need to follow, but I really can't remember them.
Oh, that's okay. That's why we have printed material on supervisory skills. I can't always remember the steps myself. Let's take a look in the book and see what the steps are for correcting a behavior problem. I know we have them back here. Here we go. And here's our action step card.
Okay.
And remember, John, to set a follow-up date with Joni. That's a very important step. Think you can take care of this now?
Yes, I think I can.
Good. But just to be sure, John, that we're both going in the same direction, why don't you tell me exactly what you're going to do?
Okay. Okay, first, Joni and I will get together tomorrow afternoon, and I'll tell her exactly what bothers me about her chatting with her friends when she should be cleaning up.
That's good.
Okay, next I'll listen to her reasons why she does things her way.
Okay.
Then I'll make it clear to her that her behavior has to change, and together we'll look for some ways to solve the problem.
That's good.
We'll decide on some specific actions for her to follow, and finally we'll set a date for some follow-up.
Great. And I'll meet with you, say, next Wednesday, and we'll see how you've done.
That'll be perfect.
John, everything ready for your shift tonight?
Yes, I think so.
Good. Let's talk about how things went with Joni.
Absolutely great. You know, she started to show improvement from the very first night.
Oh, that's terrific. You used your supervisory skill action steps?
Yes.
Did you have any problems?
Well, yeah, but only one, I think. It was a little tough getting started. It was easier to tell you about the problem than it was to tell Joni.
That happens sometimes, John. Direct confrontations can be pretty uncomfortable. But tell me, how did it go?
Well, I stumbled around a little at first, but I finally got to the point. The thing that helped the most was when I asked her if there are any reasons for behavior. I think she got the feeling that I was interested in her side of the story and wasn't out to play the big boss man.
That's good, but you did let her know that her behavior had to change.
Oh, yes, and I did a pretty good job explaining it, too, because I haven't had any problems since.
Oh, that's good. I was wondering, John, do you have any ideas on how you can get into the discussion easier the next time a problem like this comes up?
You know, actually I do. I think my problem came from the fact that I hadn't really rehearsed how I was going to get started. I hadn't made any notes or anything. I just knew that I had to talk to Joni, and I figured it all fall together naturally. It didn't.
So, next time?
Next time I'll have some notes prepared, and I'll have practiced what I'm going to say.
Oh, that sounds good. And I think you'll find, John, that the more often you use the skills, the easier it'll become. It sounds like overall you've really had a success. And I'm very glad you came to me, John, with this, and that your first experience with supervisory skills has worked out.
Me too, and thanks for all the help.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hi, Liz.
Hi.
How you doing?
Fine.
That was a busy lunch rush we had, wasn't it?
Sure was.
Liz, there's one thing I want to talk to you about. I noticed on 2 occasions when I came over and pointed out to you that you were overweighing the roast beef. The first time it was a ½ an ounce over, and the second time it was a 1/4 of an ounce over.
Yes, sir.
I know you're not doing it intentionally, but are there any reasons why it was happening?
Well, you know, like you mentioned, it was awful busy, and I was trying to make sure that I had at least one roast beef sandwich available to the customers at all times.
I really appreciate that customer concern. What type of ideas do you have to solve the problem?
Well, the only idea I can really think of is for me just to slow down some and just make sure that I take the right amount of roast beef and place it on the scales each time.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's really the key, is just being more careful. One other thing I noticed is if you get too much roast on the scale, it's all right to go ahead and take a slice or two off to make sure that you got the proper amount of roast on the sandwich. Okay? So why don't we go ahead and agree on those two things, that you're just going to take your time, be a little more careful, and then if you do get some extra roast on the slicer, that you can take a slice or two off.
Okay.
Okay? Why don't we go ahead and work with that for a couple days. We'll get back together on Friday about 2 o'clock, and that's when you get off, and we'll go ahead and discuss how it went.
Okay.
We're good. I think you got a good handle on it, Liz, and I feel confident you can get it taken care of. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.